I've got a lot of revenge on my mind for a few people. It's like, I ain't losing to these. Come on! Yeah! Hold on to your seatbelt because it's about to get bumpy. Hello boys and girls. So Arsenal have made a new signing and it's St Etienne defender William Saliba. Now if you've been watching some of my videos before the season even finished and I was talking about potential targets, he was one of them. Now this seems to have been a really long drawn out saga. There is of course the fact that we've got to loan him back to St Etienne. They were not interested in any deal in any way, shape or form where he will not go back on loan for the season. The other problem was Spurs because they came in and thought they could flex their muscles and take the player away from us. But he chose Arsenal, the Europa League team, the little club of North London now that we apparently are. I think this just shows very evidently who the big club really is. You might be better than us over the last couple of years and you've reached a Champions League final and you've got your nice new shiny stadium, but you will never be a bigger club than Arsenal. And the fact that one of the brightest prospects in French football has sat there and said, you know what, I'm going to Arsenal. That's where I want to be. It's not guaranteed where we're going to be next year. We could not even be in Europe altogether. We could be out of the top 6 places. We could be back in the Champions League. But he sat there and he said, no, I don't want to go Spurs. I want to go Arsenal. £27 million with the add-ons included. And I think we've got ourselves one hell of a player on our hands. Now, I am gutted that he does have to go back on loan, but I understand the logistics of everything. And I understand that that was the only way we were going to get this deal done. If we wouldn't have got this deal done and we said, you know what, wait for another year. He had another outstanding season in France. And then everyone else comes in for him and his price tag has gone from 30 to 60 to 70. You know, he has a season like a De Ligt, for example. Then everyone would be going, why didn't you buy him last year? Why didn't you get it sorted out? You know, you listen to the people in France and they are saying that he is the most advanced 18-year-old they have seen since Kylian Mbappe. Now, I'm not trying to compare him to Mbappe or anything like that because they're worlds apart. And you look at what Mbappe has gone on to do. But they're saying as an 18-year-old, his development and how far ahead of his years he actually is reminiscent to the way that Mbappe burst onto the scene. He doesn't play like an 18-year-old. Doesn't act like an 18-year-old. He doesn't even look like an 18-year-old. He's a big, strong, powerful boy. And I'm looking forward to seeing him next season. I'm looking forward to him going back to St Etienne for the year, enjoying his year, getting more experience under his belt, and then coming to Arsenal nice, fresh and ready. And there'll be none of this haggling and wondering what's going on over the summer and everything else. He knows his future. He knows what his plans are. He can go back, play football, concentrate on that. There's going to be no speculation. There's going to be no talking. He will just go there, enjoy himself. And at the end of the season, he will come over and be an Arsenal player. And you cannot get any more transparent than that. It's very, very simple. So, like I said, £27 million with the add-ons. And I think we may well have got ourselves a bargain. It's a lot of money to pay for an 18-year-old. But like I said, where he could potentially be in a year, 2 years' time, this is the right thing to do. And we've always been criticised at Arsenal of not doing it the right way. We've waited too long. How many times did Arsene Wenger sit there and say, I could have signed him, and I could have signed him, and I could have signed that player and that player. And then what happens was we wait for a bit, they go and have a blinding season, and then all the other big clubs with loads of money come and get involved, and they take them from underneath our feet. And there's nothing we can do about it. So we need to go and get these players early, get them through the door, and let's start to rebuild. Let's start to see a new Arsenal. All right, we're seeing a lot of changes in the backroom staff. And you know what? It's a big season for the club. It's a big season for Emery. Emery, in a recent press conference whilst out in America, has said that, he wants to get 3-4 players in. They're looking at big, expensive signings. Josh Kroenke, he has responded to the recent protests and the letters that have been sent to the club. And fair play to him for that actually as well. Within 24 hours of that, he's actually realised the necessity of actually responding. And I know a lot of people, including myself, will be very sceptical of what he said and take it with a pinch of salt, because the proof is in the pudding. Before the window shuts, we've got to go and address all the areas. Not just this, because this is a signing that's not going to affect us next season. Now, Emery did say 3-4 signings for now. So that's what we need for now. We'll wait and see though. It's very, very interesting as to what is going to happen. And, where we go from here, I don't really know. I'm looking at some of the potential targets that we've got coming in. And maybe it's going to be a target where they've not actually been mentioned. Nobody's really been talking about them. Maybe it's a target that, we're totally going to be in shock about. You're talking, the likes of Dani Alves, name's been mentioned as a stopgap. I'm not too sure with that one. His experience, and I do think that he's still got it within him. But the kind of wages that he's looking for, I'm not too sure. We're looking very much to the youth route, whether that's buying or promoting. I watched the first game on the pre-season tour. Young Martinelli looked really good. Debut scored a goal as well. Reiss Nelson was held back as well, which says to me that he may well be a major part of the first team plans this season. But it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens. Like I said, Josh Kroenke, he's came out. He's been very bold, very brave in his prediction and what he wants. He says that Arsenal have got to be aggressive in the transfer market and everything else. So, we'll see whether they are or not. And we will see what kind of signings we get over the line. But for now, this one is done. William Saliba, he is an Arsenal player. And I'm really happy about it. It's just a shame that we have to wait a year or so to see him in an Arsenal shirt properly. And actually gets to watch him play. But I'll be following him closely whilst he's out in France. I'll be watching his performance with Saint Etienne. And hopefully he can show some signs of what we've got to come. So it'd be very interesting. So as usual, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. What have I got coming up? There's loads coming up, to be quite honest with you. Hopefully there's a lot of new signing videos. That is further and foremost. I want to see some of them. The previews, they will be starting to come back soon when I head over to France. Also, when I head over to Barcelona for a pre-season game against them. There's going to be loads of stuff towards the end of the transfer window. I'm going to be doing match previews now from the stadiums. Give or take, some of them logistically I won't be able to do. But I'm going to try and be doing some of the previews from there. I'm going to be interacting with other fan channels and getting their thoughts on the games that are coming up when we're playing them. I'm going to be doing player ratings from outside the stadium, something that I started doing towards the end of last year. And a lot of people really enjoyed it. Felt like they were really a part of it because you're actually at the stadium. So I'm going to be doing that. There's no matchday vlogs next season. Basically because I've been doing it for over 3 years. And I want to start enjoying my time at football with my sons. And I want to try and, concentrate on just watching the games with them. Now, there will be a few matchday vlogs against the top 6 sides, especially away from home. I love those ones. And when we do the European trips, I'm going to be keeping them there. But I don't see the point when we're playing the likes of, you know, Blackpool in the FA Cup, for example, and things like that, you know, Carabao Cup games. And I just want to go to these games and enjoy my time with my children and, you know, see them experience the things that I did when I was growing up as an Arsenal fan. So hopefully that involves trophies, because that's what I remember as growing up as a kid. But we will wait and see. So yeah, listen, until all those new videos, keep an eye out. I will see you lot soon. I am out of here.